Meanwhile, a one-of-a-kind housing project set to open this morning in Davis, and it hopes to help the area's at-risk and homeless population. That's where we find ABC10's Bridget Biorlo. She's live in front of Paul's Place this morning. Bridget, this is going to be more than just a homeless shelter.
That's right, Bree. It's supposed to feel a lot more like an apartment complex than a homeless shelter. If you look behind me here, this is the entrance to the facility, and as you walk in, you have to walk through an H, and I'm told it stands for home and hope. It also looks a lot like a goalpost in sports terms, so the symbolism is you start here on the streets, a life of struggle, and you go through toward a life of stability. So that is the concept behind this one-of-a-kind project. It's been 6 years in the making. I want to show you what it looks like in the daytime. This is supposed to be a model for the homeless crisis, a model solution to solving it once and for all. It's not an end game, it is a start, but it's supposed to be more of a permanent solution here to this very complex challenge. It's a 4-story building and it ascends. So it starts with support services, think things like mental health services and drug and rehab treatment. And then as you work your way up through the program, it goes up to transitional living, then to permanent housing.
They can just walk right in like any other apartment. They can do what they want to do. I mean, this is going to be run as a housing first model, which means that we're going to be taking folks right off the streets, moving into housing and whatever comes with that. So it's going to be taking folks as they are, moving them in here and working with them to make sure that they can meet the requirements of the lease. Kind of look at Paul's Place as being a place for people to heal, a place for people to kind of get to a point where they become whole people all over again.
And interestingly, this sits on a 1/4 acre of land, so it relies on ascension with this building landscape. And that's really key to a lot of these communities. They don't have a lot of space to build these big shelters, so this is really a model for other cities to follow by. And I'm told the first level with those services, that can service and benefit hundreds of people. Then the more permanent options, the living spaces, transitional living, I'm told will house 10 people at a time. And then as you work your way up, 18 units for those permanent housing options. And it's not supposed to be permanent in terms of years on end. The goal is to get these people on their feet, get them the confidence they need, get them into jobs so they feel good about going out into the real world and getting their own place, and then not going back to the streets. Moving forward is the goal here. Bria and Walt.
Yeah, Bridget, you mentioned those services. Case management is really the most important thing in this to make sure that people don't end up homeless once again. But who is paying for the new shelter?
This was a big grassroots effort, Bria. A lot of community raised dollars made this project possible. Also federal funding as well through the American Rescue Plan, because as we know, a lot of people have fallen on hard times as a result of the pandemic.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see all of the good stories we hear out of this after it opens at 10:30 this morning. Bridget, thank you.